Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing a lovely dress watch in white gold, launched in 2016. This is the Lange Söhne Saxonia Moon Phase. Now, it is the reference 384026, 40 millimeters in diameter, as a solid silver dial, a solid gray gold case. That's the good stuff, white gold that's not rhodium plated. It's 10 millimeters thick. It's 46.6 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see it's a perfect fit. I could recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference, maybe even 13 and a half if your wrist is like mine, oval across the top rather than round. You see it'll fit easily underneath the dress cuff, domed bezel, thin profile, and again short across the wrist, which really comes across in this down the barrel shot. Here's an over the top. Taking a look at the strap. You can see large rectangular scale alligator leather, gloss finish. It's lovely, sort of saturated ultramarine blue with a lightly contrasting blue-gray stitch. You can see it has a folded edge, and then on the bottom, calfskin. It is a Lange factory strap in new condition, outstanding. We have something that is not universal on Lange watches, and that is a deployant clasp. In general, these were fit with pin buckles, but if you want more security against dropping your watch, you will opt for the upcharge of a full folding deployant clasp, which creates a loop from one side of the strap to the other. So when you take it off at your bedside at night or you put it on, you've got that loop to prevent it from dropping off your wrist. So a really nice upcharge option that someone selected at the dealer, and frankly, I'm very happy they did. And you can see, like the watch, it's gray gold. Gray gold is a white 18-karat gold alloy of the type used by Grubel 4C, Patek, JLC, Rolex, and many others. It never needs to be rhodium plated. It's white all the way through. If it gets scratched, it's white underneath. Now you can see the case is classical Lange, a sort of cylindrical mid-case. We have mid-case finish. We have a domed and polished bezel. We have a polished lip to the case back. The lugs are stepped out from the case band. This is a distinctive element that's been present on Lange watches since the very first modern Lange watches bowed in late 1994. You can see the lugs are entirely polished with a little bit of a transitional bevel on their side. We have a Lange branded crown, and we have a pusher adjuster for correcting the moon phase. We also have a pusher trigger, which is alternately polished and satinated in tiny facets, and that allows you to rapidly adjust the panorama datum or the outsize date. Note the lovely font used here. You can also see, if you take a look at the 2 of the date and the 2 on the small seconds, the font matches. Attention to detail. We have lovely white gold alpha style hands for the hours and minutes, counterweighted lancet style hands for the seconds, applied white gold indices for the hours, and a white gold frame for the date. White gold because ultimately that will not oxidize, tarnish, fade, or discolor. So as an element of a dial, which should be peripherally, perpetually, and perennially beautiful, you definitely want to have white gold elements rather than rhodium plated steel. You'll also see that we've got a solid gold moon phase disc. This is something Lange does and almost no one else does. Most other companies use brass for moon phase discs, and then they plate them a gold color if they wish. This is solid gold. So what you see as polished gold is actually the base of the disc itself, and Lange only uses perpetual calendar style moon phases, so it doesn't need to be adjusted until 122 years after you make your most recent correction. There's also a stop seconds function, so you can set the watch precisely to a reference time. And I should mention that the pusher adjuster feel for the date is as good as you will ever encounter. It's like a fine column wheel chronograph. Flip it over, you can see the L086 5th revision. It is a rotor automatic. It has a 50-hour power reserve. It beats away at 3 hertz. You can see it pivots on 40 joules, and it is adjusted in a chronometer and high horology style, 5 positions. Pardon me, it has a 3-day power reserve. This is not a 50-hour, this is a 3-day power reserve. The Odysseus version of this has a high beat and a 50 hour. This one right here, 21.6 or 3 hertz, is a 72 hour power reserve. So you can see it is all contained in a case that's 30 meters water resistant. We have a platinum mass, not 22, not 21, not 18 karat gold, and God help us, not tungsten. You can see that we have stripes across the bridges. The stripes are going to be called stripes because we're not in Geneva, we're not in Switzerland, they're not Côte de Genève. There's engine turned perlage on the base plate. You can see mirrored anglage lighting up on the edge of the bridges. You can also see black polishing in the case clamping screws, as well as the cover to the escape wheel, black polished steel. We have a black polished swan's neck fine adjustment mechanism. We also have fire blued screws on this movement, and you can see traditionally crafted in German silver with a nickel copper zinc alloy used to create the bridges and plates as an homage to the Lange pocket watch era in the 19th and early 20th century. That's why they have that golden hue. It's the copper in the German silver that gives it that color. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this Lange Söhne Saxonia moon phase.